Hey y'all, so I wanted to make a quick video to give you an update as to where I am on my investing and stock options trading journey. So it's been 2 weeks since my last video and I'm still in my learning phase. Like, I'm not trying to rush into this game. I know I'm excited about, actively playing and getting all of these gains and getting, of course, naturally the successes of it, but I am going to take my time. I'm going to learn this language so that I can be an intelligent investor. So like in my last video, I told you guys the different books that I invested in, and I'm still reading The Intelligent Investor, and I'll start here. This book is really good. It takes some getting used to. You really, the main chapters would be a lot more, or I would feel they were a lot more complex if they didn't have the commentary on each chapter to follow, right? And what the commentary does is it makes the content in the original chapter of this book relative to today. So, I mean, when I tell you that is so helpful, because first of all, I wasn't born. I wasn't born when this book was written, so I don't know what the heck was going on. I don't know the energy of that time or anything. It's because this book was written in like the 60s, 70s, and I can't relate to that time because I just didn't exist. But when they, in the commentary, what they do is make it relative to like the .com time, which I was around, even though I wasn't active in the game at that time either. But I do remember, of course, news reports and people talking about it. I think at that time, I was probably working in the finance industry. I worked in the bank for a little while. So, you heard murmurings, you heard side conversations about it. So I can relate and say, oh yeah, I remember vaguely them having conversations about that. I think I was probably about 18 or 19 years old around that time anyway. But, it is a really good book. I'm taking my time going through each chapter. I'm up to chapter 4. I am reading each one twice, and I do plan to, the best way I can learn stuff that I'm finding to be complex, and it's, to be honest, it's not really complex. It's really all about learning the language. I'm literally taking the same process that I did in my career, and the one jewel I got from someone, they said when you learn how to speak the language, you'll quickly move up in the ranks. And as I learned how to speak the language in the industry that I made a profession out of, I noticed, okay, I can now have conversations with the executive team now because I'm speaking their language. Prior to that, I was speaking the language of the mid-management. Prior to that, I was speaking the language of the entry-level employees. So it's all about your education and how you're able to communicate it. And because of that, I'm reading it. What I plan to do is reinterpret each chapter in my own words, because I've always found that to be very helpful. I am a lifelong student. I am a perfectly trained, educated student. They groomed me well. So I know how to study really well. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do, because I know it helps it to get ingrained in my brain. So if you're also on this trajectory, I wanted to share that tip. Aside from the reading, I'm watching CNBC. I have it, even if I'm not paying close attention to it, I always have it played in the background. So right now I'm in a media room. If you go in my living room, I have it on. So when I go in there for lunch and, to do other things, maybe I take a break, I'm watching what's going on, the different CEOs being interviewed, whatever shows, Mad Money, what's on. I'm consuming all of this information. Like, I'm being really intentional about having it in my space. I've also integrated Market Mondays with EYL. I actually watched them for the first time yesterday, and it wasn't bad. It wouldn't be a go-to for me necessarily, but again, I like to hear the language spoken in different ways and different tones and different dialects, because you can always pick up something. Even if you got 5 different people saying the same thing over and over again, you're going to pick up a different aspect of what you're trying to learn. So again, even though my definite go-to is Wall Street Trapper, and I'm still watching his courses and retaking my notes. You see all my notebooks here, whatever. But I'm also adding in other people as well. So yeah, my plan is to take the rest of August to continue to educate myself, learn and study. And then come September, that is when I plan to make my first options trading play. Now, okay, so before I get into my long-term investing, I'll tell you why. There is this time in the last week of September that's called Quadruple Witching. And that's when you can get buy options at a discounted price. So I want to maximize the money that I have designated to trade options by making sure I invest in them when they're at a discount. So that's why I'm waiting on that. I had already invested in some long-term investments prior to starting the course. And just like everybody else, I see everything is like consistently in the red. I'm down by probably, I'm recording on my phone. I'm down about 70 or 80%, but what I realize is that after reading this and watching Trapper, I'm not an emotional investor because I invested in companies that are fundamentally strong with the exception of one. One, I just I did an emotional play. I liked it and it's Instacart. I invested in it because I use it, I love it, and I feel like, oh, you know, this is gonna last forever. I don't care what new technology is coming up, they'll be able to evolve with it. And I made that decision without doing the proper research and doing the formulas that I've been learning through Trapper to make sure this is a sound, fundamentally strong company. And technically it's not when I did the numbers, but that's all right. Once I, if I see any profits and I see gains, at some point I'll offload that and reinvest it in something that's a little more fundamentally sound so I can continue to build my portfolio. So, see that? I'm learning the language. But yeah, so that's where I am. Still learning, still educating, still reading. And yeah, if you have any questions, let me know. Let me know where you are in your on your journey and learning this new way to build wealth. And not a new way, but new for me. And in the way that I'm approaching it, it's the options part that's really new for me. But yeah, let me know where you are. Let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in the next video.